assistant when Lucy and I were on the tourism board. And when one left, we replaced her with Mary Kay, a very good one. Mary Kay, Extraordinary Commissioner of Tourism.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's nice to see such a bright and cheery group this morning, that everybody was able to dig out of our wonderful snowstorm in preparation perhaps for our next one. But this is just another reason why people love Dutchess County so much and the winter here. But tourism is a gateway to economic development. And why? Because I think when people come up and visit Dutchess County and the Hudson Valley and see all the wonderful assets that we have here, they then think about saying, well, maybe I want to move here. And if I move here, then maybe I better bring my business here. So we kind of see tourism as the gateway to economic development. And hopefully by the end of a few minutes here, you're going to know why that's true. Because tourism is part of economic development. It's a big economic development driver, and hopefully you'll know why by the end of breakfast today. Dutchess County Tourism's mission is to promote and market the assets of Dutchess County and the Hudson Valley, not only regionally but nationally and internationally as well. And that's kind of a nice way, but bottom line, our mission really is to put heads in beds. That's what we do. And hopefully you'll see why that's so important. So how do we do that? Well, our job is to brand Dutchess County as a distinct destination and to increase overall visitation. We did a visitor's profile study this year, and throughout this next few minutes, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what that said. And one of the things it said about our visitors is that the average age of our visitor is 53 years old, and over 42% have been to graduate school. So we have, I think, a highly intelligent group that comes here and visits, and that's probably why we're so successful. One of our jobs, too, is to increase the number of first-time visitors. Less than 20% of our visitors that come to Dutchess County come for the first time, and we really think that should be up around 30%. A reason for that is first-time visitors spend more money. And so we want them to come. But almost 40% of our visitors have been here 6 or more times. So that says something as well, because it's so great that people want to come again and again. We also want to convert our day trippers to overnight guests, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. We want to extend our shorter stays to longer stays. However, in northern Dutchess, we only have about 12.3% of all our accommodations in Dutchess County. 88% of our accommodations are south of Hyde Park. So for all the town supervisors here today and people on boards, really embrace those hotel developers that want to bring some business your way and help them get some quality lodging up here in the northern part of Dutchess County. And one of the reasons for that, too, is because just across the river from Rhinebeck, there's about 382 rooms that we're losing every time a visitor goes across the river. Now, not that it's not nice across the river. I appreciate that. But I also like that room revenue, Assemblyman. And so we would like to see some of that business here. Because if you take those 382 rooms and multiply that by 356 days, you'll see how many room nights we're losing out of northern Dutchess. And the room revenue that we're losing as well. We also want to cross-sell Dutchess County tourism events and we have 6 different themes that we normally promote: the arts, the culinary, the outdoors, history, agritourism, and our events and festivals. When we did our visitor profile study, one of the questions we asked was, what's your primary destination when you come to Dutchess County? 60% said Hyde Park. Rhinebeck was second. Poughkeepsie was third with 36%. Fishkill and Red Hook with 5%. So then we asked them where else they visit when they come, and 40% said they come up to Rhinebeck as well, and 16% go up to Red Hook. So, people are moving around the county. Northern Dutchess is important to the area, and you have a lot of things to see and do here. So how do we get all those visitors to come to Dutchess County? Well, we do a fairly good advertising campaign, and last year we were in 17 different national magazines, and that resulted in almost 24,000 inquiries. One of the things that we did in our visitor study as well is we did a conversion study. We said, you know, advertising's good, marketing's good. Are we putting our dollars in the right place? And we found out that we had about a 35% conversion rate. So anybody that's in marketing and advertising knows that that's pretty high and pretty good. So 35% of the people that get our information actually come. We're on Facebook, just like everybody else in the world, and I hope that you all did your own personal Facebook videos and posted those. They come out pretty well. But anyway, Facebook ads generate over 13 million impressions. And as a result of that, we had over 4,300 click-throughs that came to our website. With our media coverage, we hosted last year about 50 travel writers. And we've got stories placed all over in news, in print, on television, and radio. And with that, we figured hosting those 50 travel writers gave us about $2 million worth of PR benefit. And with that, we thank all our partners, because if it wasn't for our partners who helped host them by giving them meals or a room to stay in or attractions, we had about $77,000 worth of donated services from our partners. So we really appreciate the businesses. So how are we funded? Well, Dutchess County Tourism is part of Dutchess County Economic Development, and Kathy Maloney, our president and CEO, is here. Thank you for coming this morning, and is doing a great job there. But there's a 4% hotel bed tax that our visitors spend, and last year in 2012, we collected just a little over $2 million. This year we're down about 4%, and I'm going to take the liberty to blame the federal government. They started us out with sequesters last January, and that killed about 300 room nights down in the Fishkill area. And then during the busiest time of our year in October, they closed us down for 2 weeks with our national parks and others, and that cost us up to about 20% of business in the area. So that was important to us. However, we'll collect right underneath $2 million this year in bed tax that goes to the county general fund at this point, and Dutchess County Tourism gets about $600,000 of that $2 million for promotion, which isn't a lot. But the Industrial Development Agency for the last 2 years has supported us and has given us about another $300,000, and what we were able to do with that was to finally put some TV ads in the Metro New York area in Brooklyn. We were able to get some nice video, and we're up on YouTube, so check out the Dutchess County ads on YouTube as well. And then we get a little bit of money from New York State, and we appreciate that. We appreciate what the governor has stepped up to the plate, and the Senate and Assembly, and they've recognized tourism as a major economic draw. And over the last couple of years, the governor has committed over $60 million to tourism, and that's helping us tremendously. It's so nice to see ads on the major channels now about New York. And if anybody was watching last night on Channel 2, I believe it was, there was a nice I Love New York ad for Beekman and Dia. So we are getting some help from I Love New York, and we appreciate that. Our matching funds that we get is about $50,000, which is a little low. And I'll do this commercial here right now, guys. It would be nice to have a little bit more in matching funds, because that generates a match. And so that $55,000 generates another $55,000 locally and gives us that much more money to advertise. Economic impact. So visitors come. What does that mean to Dutchess County? Well, in 2012, visitors spent $475 million in Dutchess County. That generates $33 million in local taxes and $26 million in New York State taxes. That's just from Dutchess County. And now here's the big thing on why we want people to stay overnight. Our leisure visitor, on the average, spends $715 when they come overnight. That's against $293 when they come for the day. So overnight is key, and we want them to come and stay. So how does that break out? Visitor expenditure on that $475 million, $133 million in transportation, $170 million in food, $89 million in lodging, $85 million in shopping. We would like to boost that up a little bit. The average spend on a day tripper is about $109 in shopping. So that's not too bad, but we'd like to see that get a little bit higher, and about $32 million in recreation. Now, off our visitor profile study, we kind of asked them what they did when they came to Dutchess County. Well, the number one thing was eating. And we've got some good restaurants here. With the Culinary Institute, many of our restaurants having fine chefs from that institution, and many of our agricultural products and our farm markets. The farm to table is phenomenal. Then they like to drive around and sightsee. So all the work that the land conservancies do and our planning there to provide the rural aspect, very high quality. Next, they like our historic sites and our museums. The fourth is shopping, and again, we'd like to see that a little higher. Then they like walking around downtown and villages, so it's very important for us to preserve our village areas and to work on that. Then they like our state parks, they like our farm markets, then our winery and brew pubs, which we're growing every day. We've got more and more distilleries and craft beer pubs coming online. Then they like to go to art galleries and visit friends and relatives. And that's nice because all of you should be inviting your relatives to come, and they don't have to stay with you. We got a lot of accommodations in the county, but invite them to come and spend some of their money here. Some other facts. Tourism is the fifth largest industry in New York State. It's in Dutchess County. It sustains over 8,700 full-time jobs and generates $240 million in payroll. So these are people that are employed here, that are spending their money here and supporting other businesses. They have to buy clothes, they have to buy insurance, they do things to their houses, they have landscaping. So all of you in this room are probably somehow affected by tourism because tourism helps employ the local people who then spend their money locally. The Hudson Valley region generates the third most tourism dollars in the state, and that's only behind New York City and Long Island. So people are coming to the Hudson Valley. Tourism in the Hudson Valley generates about $4.7 billion of that. The $475 million is spent in Dutchess County. And tourism is responsible for 6% of all employment in the Hudson Valley. 6%. So where do all these people come from? They're coming here. Where are they coming from? Well, of course, right within New York State in the metropolitan area. About 32% that come from New York State stay overnight. About 72% do day trips. New Jersey, 12.6 spend the night. 9.4 come on day trips. Connecticut, about 5, almost 6% will come and spend a night, and about 10% day trip. And then the other places people are coming from are Virginia and Washington and California. Do we get an international market? Yeah, we're getting a little bit of international tourism. Our top 5 countries are England, Canada, Germany, France, and Australia. New York State is the most visited state by overseas travelers, over 9.5 million, 50% more than California, which is the second most visited state. And do you know that 44 million people live in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Connecticut? So even if we could get another 10% of that 44 million, that would certainly help us, particularly if they stay overnight and spent that $800 a person. So what's our top visited sites? Well, the walkway over the Hudson, a real jewel that's been in our area and has been a real spur to our economy and to help us. Dutchess County Fairgrounds. People come to all the many wonderful fairs and festivals that are there, and they do a great job at the fairgrounds. Culinary Institute of America, 285,000 people come to the culinary. 112,000 visitors to FDR Library and Museum, and they're way up now that they've opened up their new museum this year. 75,000 to DIA. Of that 75,000 in DIA, 30,000 were international visitors, almost half of their visitation. And 24,000 came up by Metro North. 24,000. So we're seeing the real impact that we provide from Metro North on a reverse visitation. Locust Grove, 80,000, and Wilderstein, just about 60. So what do we have for visitors that they can take with them? Well, we publish our Dutchess County Travel Guide. That gets put out all across the world. There's 19 racks around the county that you can pick that up in. We also have a Farm Fresh program where we just off-print, and I'm sorry, with the snow yesterday, I was going to grab them yesterday when I went in the office to bring to show, and I missed that. But our Farm Fresh guide is becoming more and more popular. It's loaded with restaurants. It's loaded with bed and breakfast in our farm markets. And one of the things that you have to do in order to get listed in that Farm Fresh guide is you have to buy from 5 local farms. So we're really pushing local. We have on digital our drive tours, our bike tours. A few other things that we do. We have our award-winning website that gets over 750,000 visitors a year. It includes over 200 restaurants, 100 farms, and more than 700 tourism-related businesses. We do this program with Metro North in the fall called Farm Fresh Dutchess. And people come up from the city on the train. We have a bus there that takes them out to the farm and the farm markets. Some of our small farms had said for the last 2 years that we've really been the bridge that's kept them in business by bringing people up. And over the last 6 years, on weekends only, we've brought up 6,000 people from New York City that have visited our farms. And 99% of them had never been here before. The average spend on that trip, excluding their Metro North ticket, is over $80 a person. So when you bring 3 buses into a small farm, that can have quite an impact on their income. And this year, I'm happy to say that we've expanded our Farm Fresh program, and we'll be bringing them up into Rhinebeck and northern Dutchess. They'll be visiting 2 of the farms up here, plus spending some time in the village of Rhinebeck to have some lunch. One of the other demands that's been placed on us recently is we are becoming more and more of a film location. We've started tracking film requests since 2012, and we've assisted over 70 scouts that are looking for requests. And then some of these requests can be from A&E, the Travel Channel, the History Channel. Some are big budget films, some are low budget films, and some are student films. There are also international and international productions. For 3 years, we've had a company from Germany that's been filming here for over 3 years in our area. So something else that I thought was interesting to share with you about our visitor profile is we're all into technology these days. So what kind of technology do our visitors use? Well, laptops. While traveling, about 33% will use their laptop. Pre-trip planning, about 57%. Tablets, iPads. 43% will use their iPads while traveling. 39% will use them before the trip. Smartphones. And this may change me, I'm a BlackBerry holdout, but 70% are using smartphones on traveling and 34% in their pre-planning. And of course, GPS, yes, 82% while traveling, 16% pre. So what kind of social media do people never use? According to our visitor profile, almost 100%, it's about 96%, never use Foursquare. About 90% never use QR codes. About 85% don't go on Instagram. This I found kind of surprising. About 85% never use Twitter. About 80% don't use Pinterest. About 75% don't use YouTube. Travel blogs are about 75% now that never use it. And Yelp is about 60%. What do they use when they're doing their pre-trip planning? TripAdvisor. Number one. And that's why it's so important for our accommodations and our restaurants and our attractions to go on to TripAdvisor and see what people are saying about you. And respond. Good or bad, respond. Because that shows that you're interested in what's going on in your facility. People use Yelp when they're doing some pre-trip. They use travel blogs, they use Facebook, and QR codes is about 2%. A couple other things that we're working on last year and this year. We continue to celebrate 300 years of democracy in Dutchess County. We're glad that Will Tatum, I saw Will here somewhere. He's our county historian. Hi, Will. Thank you. Good morning. We've been working very closely with Will, and we're very happy that the county executive appointed our county historian. And with him, we had a very successful Dutchess Heritage Days programs this past year, and we're going to continue that on. One of the things that we'll be printing within the next month or so is a passport to Dutchess County. This will have a page on every village and town that is in Dutchess County. It will give people an opportunity to go around and get these stamped in each of the towns and villages, and hopefully that'll generate not only some in-county visitation, but to our visitors as well. We also are working on a number of special events for this year that we think are going to bring in a good group of people, and it's going to kick off with on June... help me out with the Civil War. June 14th and 15th, a Civil War event that we started last year. We'll have some reenactors there. There will be some Civil War interaction and campouts, so we invite you down to Bowden Park to do that. The following week after that is going to be the Great Race. What's the Great Race? This is 100 vintage cars that are racing from Algonquin, Maine to the villages in Florida. And Poughkeepsie is going to be their only stop on June 22nd. And they're going to be coming, not their only stop in New York, not their only stop. Their only stop in New York. So, but this is a timed, controlled race. The winner has a $150,000 prize. It's competitive, and they take all the scenic roads and public highways. They don't go on any major things. So that's happening. So I expect to see you all down on the 25th. Bike New York on the 29th. We'll be doing a Discover Hudson Valley ride. So on that day, please be careful on the roads, particularly around northern Dutchess, because there will be over 2,500 cyclists cycling both in Dutchess and Ulster County and a little bit into Columbia. Then the other thing I challenge you all today is to, on July 5th, as part of the Balloon Festival, we are going to have dragon boat races and a festival, and the dragon boat races will be down in the Hudson River, down by the rowing clubs. And so I'm going to challenge each of you to get a team together, only 16 on a team. It's going to be a 400-meter race. You'll have an opportunity to practice once the week before with your team. So it's a good team challenge for some of your corporations. Maybe we'll get a little challenge between village boards and mayors and supervisors. So start practicing, get in shape. We think it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, I mentioned also that what's new? What's happening in the county? What's new as far as tourism development? And we have a lot going on. We have about 6 potential accommodations on the boards for Northern Dutchess. A couple in Hyde Park, 2 in Rhinebeck, possibly, and a couple down in Beekman. We also have a great number of craft breweries that are popping up all over, and a couple of distilleries. Out in Pine Plains, we have Dutch Spirits, which is really an original New York distillery. If people don't know the history of Dutch Schultz, he was a bootlegger during the times, and they have uncovered all his escape tunnels that he used to get away from the IRS. And so you could go out, and you're going to be able to see some of these. They built a wonderful new facility there. They'll be opening this spring. Also, a new distillery out in Millbrook is the Millbrook Distillery. It's a good thing that they're not serving anything this morning. We also have a couple of new breweries, and I understand there possibly may be a new brewery in the northern Dutchess area. We're happy to tell you that Country Living is bringing their fair back to the fairgrounds this year. It was a great event last year, and they had the most attendance at a first-time event. So the fairgrounds continues to be a draw for us. So there's a lot going on in the area. We've got jazz, we've got our vineyards, we've got our arts, we've got our farm fresh programs, and there's so much more going on with art installations and our arts along the Hudson program. So anybody who tells you that there's nothing to do in Dutchess County, tell them to go on to dutchesstourism.com, dutchesstourism.com, and that'll give you a full list of events that are going on. So you can also encourage each of you to go on the website, sign up for the e-newsletter there so that you know what's happening. And so I hope today that now you know why Dutchess County tourism is the gateway to economic development here in the county and the valley, and that we'll continue to appreciate and receive all your support. And if I can help you at any time, please give me a call, and we'd be happy to assist any new businesses, any old businesses, any businesses here in Dutchess County. Have a great day. Thank you. God bless.
I'm sure you'll all agree that Mary Kay has taken Dutchess County tourism to a new level. And I'm so glad that agriculture is number one, Mary Kay.
Sorry?
Agriculture is number one, I see in your report. First thing they do is come and eat. And if you eat food, you're involved in agriculture. Anyway, I'd like to take just a minute and introduce a few people because some of them have to leave, and we're going to have a couple of them speak at the end. Just everybody stand and we'll hold our applause until I introduce them all. Ed Blundell, Village Red Hook Mayor. Hold your applause, we'll get them at the end, thank you. Brenda Cagle, Town Red Hook Board Member. Kevin Cahill, New York State Assembly. The guy that steals people from us. No. That's right, you represent Rhinebeck too. That's okay. Harry Colgan, Red Hook Board Member, Harry. Claudia Cooley, Clinton Council Person. Claudia, I know you're here, there you are. Brian Coons, Town of Pine Plains Supervisor. Already standing over there and back. Sue Crane, Town of Red Hook Supervisor. Sue, good to see you again. Terry Gibson, New York State Senator, and he's going to speak a little bit later. Patty Homan, representing Chris Gibson, our congressperson. There she is. Brent Kowalczyk, Village of Red Hook Deputy Mayor. Did I say that right? Okay. You've been there for a while, too. Jay Trapp, Village of Red Hook. Justice, it says. Is that right? Okay. Trustee, okay. Can't read it. Anyway, Sue Serino, County Legislator. Sue. Ray Oberly, Town of Clinton Supervisor. Rich Perkins, Dutchess County Legislator. Heinz Sauer, Rhinebeck Village Board. Elizabeth Spinzia, Town of Rhinebeck Supervisor. Heath Tortorella, you met him earlier, Rhinebeck Village Board, Mayor. Joel Tyner, Dutchess County Legislator. Now, did I miss anybody? Oh, Trout, yes. First name is Howie Trout, Village of Rhinebeck Trustee. Sorry. Let's give him a nice hand, folks. So Mary Kay, I hope you got a few points across to this group of leaders here. Okay, we'd like to have a short business meeting, and then we'll get on to our awards. I'd like to have the committee members, the current committee members of the Northern Dutchess Alliance stand. I'm standing, Dave Tetor, Ray Overly, Melody Moore, Lucy Couriger, Harry Colgan, Sarah Trappini and Youngman, Pompey Delafield, Sue Serino. All right, that's your present board, and we're going to add Joe Norton. He's the supervisor of Stanford, couldn't be here today. Mickey Strawinski, Elizabeth Spinzia, and Greg Pulver, and possibly one more. So that's the board, and that's the new proposed additions to the board. Let's have a nice hand for those people. Okay, where's Mary Ann? Do we have to vote those people in?
Sure, go ahead, Dave.
Sure, go ahead, okay. Do I have a motion to approve the 4 new members? Anybody can vote. Oh, Lucy does. Okay, a second? Okay, a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed? All abstentions? That's new. Anyway, thank you. You're elected. All right, now let's go on to the award presentations. And I'll get these in order. Boy, I had them in order. What happened here? Anyway, I always say when I get up in front of a group, I'm allowed 3 mistakes, and then you can fire me. Well, the first one is, there it is, Dutchess County Planning Federation. All right. How many people have gone to Planning Federation meetings at the Farm and Home Center and other places? All right, good. We have Jay Trapp, who's on the Federation, if you want to come up and receive your award. Now, the Dutchess County Planning Federation supports the efforts of local volunteers involved in community planning process throughout the county. The Federation, in partnership with the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development, has presented educational workshops to local officials and residents for over 20 years. The cooperative effort also produces a monthly educational newsletter. Plan on it, and that reaches over 1,200 email subscribers. The Federation is governed by a board of elected by members of at the annual meeting, like we did. Okay, the Federation focuses on the following goals: to provide education and information to the members and to the public meetings, regional, local, urban, rural, to serve as a resource for information, to provide a forum for the exchange of experiences in the handling of common land use and planning problems. It's very important. To serve as a county voice for the planning and zoning boards of Dutchess County. So let's have a nice hand for Jay Trapp, Dutchess County Planning Federation, charting our course with my fingerprints all over it. You want to say a couple words?
Thank you, guys. Just say.
Okay. Go ahead. Let me just get out of your way here.
I'd like to thank everybody, and like to thank Nola and Heather back there. They're big-time support. Heather is the one that's responsible for the e-newsletter, plan on it, and she works her behind off on that thing. And Nola, well, I mean, aside from all of the organization that she does to pull all these meetings together, makes a heck of a potato salad too at these meetings, let me tell you. That's inside joke. You got to come to the meeting, you'll get it, okay? We'd like to encourage everybody to come. Price is right, $5. We feed you, we educate you, we give you credits, you know, all these things that you do need. And with Mary Kay, I wanted to say, what's the numbers on people that come to Holy Cow in Red Hook? That's what I want to know. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
You could have. Is that one scoop or two scoops? I agree with Nola Hooper. She's on our Ag and Farmland Protection Board, and they do an awful lot of work for us. And thank you and congratulations. Now, Mary Kay said her job was to put heads on beds. Heads in beds. All right. Planning is to put plans in heads. Okay. Now we move on to the commitment to community. The first one I'm going to introduce is a local land trust. Winnicke Land Trust is celebrating their 25th anniversary in 2014. They have a whole list of activities going on. So they've got new trails opened, outdoor events planned, volunteer opportunities presented, and much more, including the ever-popular Winnicke Gala, one of the best parties of the year, and the autumn tour of historic barns and working farms. And they have a snow sculpture contest. Go down on Burger Hill, which I'm very pleased to say that one of our winners last year, Drayton Grant, received the award posthumously, and part of that park is now named after her. The new Arboretum at Winnicke Nature Preserve, the trails work and outdoor events, the list goes on and on and on. And I know they've done an excellent job of protecting some of the farmland and open space in Dutchess County, and Mary Kay told you how important that was to tourism. So, who from Winnicke is going to accept this award? Here we go, Sally Mazzarella. Another lady that I've known for years.
Yes.
Sally,
how are you?
congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for this wonderful honor. And it's nice that it comes on a year that we are celebrating 25 years of serving Northern Dutchess County. And yes, Mary Kay, we're always excited to hear that those of us in the land trust world play a very important role in the economic benefits to our communities. And it's a message that we try and share with the community so they understand the values. You know, Winnicke has protected over 3,000 acres of farmland, important open space, and environmentally sensitive lands, and we do a tremendous amount of work with trails, public trails that all of you have an opportunity to enjoy, and this becomes so important. We also work with our local planning boards, with our conservation advisory boards, helping them in determining when they're working through a subdivision process, a development process, how to do that in a way that they're protecting the richness and the important lands that have to be protected during the development process. So there's a lot of things that we do. Sometimes I think people get confused with the land trust and say, you know, the only thing they want is for nothing to happen. And we never think about it that way. We want the best to happen through the development process, and that's really what our goal is. And we are so excited with this year, and there are so many exciting events that we're planning. And one of the things we're happy to share is that this year, thanks to one of our board members, Lauren, thank you, we are going to send 4 high school students to the DEC Environmental Camp this summer. And so working with our young people, our future leaders, our future decision makers, it is so important for them to understand our environment and the many ways that it could be protected. So I thank all of you because so many of you in so many ways support the Winnicke Land Trust, and please share in the many exciting events that we're having during our 25th anniversary. Thank you all very, very much. Our website is www.winnickeland.org. There it is. Thank you. Thank you.
I should note that Assemblyman Cahill is giving them citations or proclamations also, and I don't know, do you have to leave early, or is that what? Okay, sorry, we'll get to the last one, but thank you for coming down to do that. Okay, the next one, the last one, I saved this for last. I hate to be prejudiced, but I've been on the board for 20-some years. I've been on a lot of boards. Anyway, I guess Becky is going to receive it, right? Tim, you can come up with her too. Dutchess Land Conservancy is a nonprofit conservation organization dedicated to preserving the rural character and important resources in open lands of Dutchess County, New York. We encourage sound, well-planned growth balanced with the conservation of our important national resources, working with the landscapes to ensure healthy and vibrant communities for the benefits of all generations. That's from their website. Now, land conservation, stewardship, public education. They were founded in 1985, so it'll be 40 years next year, right? 30. Can't add. 30. Becky can. And like I say, I've been involved with the board for over 20 years, and it's exciting to see things happen. And like Sally said, they think you don't do anything, but my goodness, they need to know more about the Land Conservancy and the Winnicke Land Trust. So if Becky and Tim would come up. Becky is a superb staff member, been here, well, actually, she was here as an assistant from the beginning?
No, not quite.
Not quite, okay.
Long
And
time.
Tim Bonacue is our board president. I might mention all the award winners, you need to stay here for a minute or two afterward. Get your picture in the paper.
Thanks, Dave. As Dave mentioned, he's been on our board for a long time, and I'd first like to just say thank you to Northern Dutchess Alliance. We are truly honored to be here today and to be a recipient with our sister organization, the Winnicke Land Trust, for the Commitment to Community Award. We join a number of very inspiring past recipients as well. As Dave also mentioned, DLC will be celebrating our 30th anniversary next year. And I have to say, while I'm very proud of the fact that we've worked with many, many local landowners and community partners to preserve now over 37,000 acres of land, and we've educated local citizens about conservation and helped promote sound planning concepts. And we're a nationally accredited organization and constantly steward over 360 properties on an annual basis. I think what's truly important about our work is the people and what we've accomplished together. When I look at the work that we've done, it's based on the fact that we have partners and we have people who truly care. We live in an area where people deeply care about our local communities. They care about where our food comes from, about having access to recreational areas, about our rural landscapes and growing our communities in the right way, and about our quality of life and our sense of place. This is an area where people really understand that open space preservation goes hand in hand with good planning and important land use decisions, enhancing tourism, as Mary Kay said, and the local economy, and where we understand that the decisions that we make today truly affect what will be here tomorrow. It's one of the things I love most about my job is that I'm constantly working with so many people who care. And so I'd like to congratulate the Winnicke Land Trust on all of your accomplishments, and also with sincere appreciation, thank all of you for all that you do to connect our businesses, our municipalities, our institutions, our organizations together under a common goal and a spirit of collaboration. So thank you again for caring about our communities and for working together. Thank you.
Our Collings is also here. We want to mention him. He's hardworking, and what those 360 parcels that we have, he flies over them, makes sure that there's nothing going on, like a still or something like that, and they're not breaking their easements. What's that? Okay, you like the stills. All right. Well, what was it? She was only a farmer's daughter, or a moonshiner's daughter, but I love her still. Old one, sorry. Before we close, did you want to just say something quick? Okay. Assemblyman Cahill, come on up. You've already given out your certificates, and then we're going to have Terry Gibson talk.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for inviting me today. It's great to be here, and it's great to have this kind of organization that represents a part of a community, Dutchess County, but that part of community that has something very much in common, and that is that it is still a very beautiful rural area to live. It is still a prosperous area in which to work, and it is still a wonderful place to visit. And we heard about the tourism today. I was very happy to hear in Mary Kay's presentation that I am indeed above average, since the average age is 52. That's about the only place I'm above average. But also the things that she talked about that people do here in Dutchess County is absolutely true. And to those of you who are a little concerned about having the next Marriott or the next Hampton Inn or the next Holiday Inn move into your town, let me tell you that one of the places where accommodations can flourish and still be part of the fabric of the community is to develop the inns and the B&Bs and the small places for people to go. And that is also part of the enriched experience that people have when they come to this community. Yes, certainly the beds at those places I just mentioned get filled every time that there's an antique car show or a food festival or something going on this side of the river, but also the B&Bs get filled up too. And the people that run the B&Bs are people who are very much engaged in the community on an everyday basis, and also they're the ones that you find out being involved in things like the land trust and so forth. So yes, encourage the development of more beds to put more heads in, but you can do it in a way that is consistent with your community. And isn't it fitting and appropriate that here we are in the oldest continuously operating in the United States of America? This is where tourism began. This is where it started, right in this very building, maybe even in this spot, who knows. I have to head out down to New York City, and because of the limited mass transit options here in Ulster and northern Dutchess counties, that means that I have to either scoot down to the Poughkeepsie train station or run back to Kingston and catch the bus. I will be doing so. I'll be catching the bus, actually. I know it sounds strange, but the bus is really cool now. You should try it sometime. The things that we heard about today can be found in more detail, of course, most of you know, in the blueprint that was produced. There's so much about Northern Dutchess that the public needs to know, and there's so much we already know that sometimes we don't think about. The blueprint serves to remind us of a lot of that, but it also serves to be a good guide as to what really does work and what doesn't work. What we know does work is when governments collaborate. And Mayor, I don't know what's been taking you so long to join the collaboration. Come on, it's almost 4 days you've been mayor. But when governments collaborate, when civic organizations work together, and when businesses pitch in, that's a synergy that just can't be beat. I always tell people that when I represent a community that has a village and a town board that gets along, it's heaven on earth. If I represent a community where the village and the town board don't get along, I go to the village where the town board and the village board do get along because it's not fun to work with. And the same is true of the outside organizations. When they are welcome and part of the fabric, then there is just a wonderful opportunity to get great things done. When there's conflict and when there's people working at cross purposes, and even if your goals are the same, well, then the wheels come off and it doesn't make anything good happen. You obviously are doing something right. You've been able to grow, you've been able to prosper, and you've been able to maintain the very unique and wonderful character that is Northern Dutchess. So with that, I want to thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. I know you'll hear more from my friend Terry Gibson in a few minutes. He has been a terrific representative in Albany. Between the two of us, we almost have the energy of County Legislator Joel Tyner. Not quite, not quite, but we're getting there. But Terry has been a terrific partner in making things move forward in Albany, and he reminds me every single day that the most important part of the 103rd Assembly District is that where I am standing right now, Northern Dutchess County. Thank you very much.
Catch that bus. Is that the bus that comes to the Poughkeepsie train station? No, it goes. It goes to New Paltz. Okay, thank you. Mary Kay, we need a bus on this side to go to the Poughkeepsie train station. Anyway, we got Senator Terry Gibson with us. Then Steve, I'll get to you wherever you are. Terry Gibson, you want to say a few words and present some certificates or citations?
Sure. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for getting up so early and coming to the great village of Rhinebeck to experience this important meeting. All the things that you see when you drive throughout Northern Dutchess, the open space, the farmland, many of the tourist attractions, they all exist because of the great work that all the award winners this morning have been recognized for. They didn't just start doing this work yesterday. They've been doing it for many, many, many years, and it has paid off, and it has really made Northern Dutchess the place that it is, the special place that it is to live and to work. It's been a long time since the 41st Senate District had a senator from Northern Dutchess, so I'm happy to serve in that role now. I just live right up the street, so I know very much how important Northern Dutchess is. It's where I decided to live and to buy a home and to start a business and to invest my tax dollars and to do what I could as a village trustee before I had this position, to try to do what I could to continue in the tradition of making this a great place to live. I want to thank Mary Kay Vrba for all the work that you're doing. As a member of the Tourism Committee, we are so happy to know that we have such a great advocate in you. The presentation you made this morning really did help underline and point out how great a place this is and how much opportunity there continues to be and how bright the future is for Northern Dutchess. So thank you for all that work. I know it doesn't come easy. We're actually in the same building together, but we're both so busy we almost never see each other. So I know you're doing something right, so thank you so much. I want to ask the 3 award winners that came up earlier to come back up because I do have citations for them as well. So I thought rather just doing it one at a time, we just do it all together and we can take a photo that way. But before I depart, I just want to say thank you all again for all that you do. Each one of you plays a very significant role here in the Northern Dutchess area. You really do make a difference. On those days where you're working and you think nobody's noticing, you think it doesn't matter, believe me, it does matter. And no one person, no one senator, no one assembly member, no one council person, mayor, we just can't do it without you. It really does take a group of people. I know that when I was a village trustee here in Rhinebeck, the things that we were able to accomplish were accomplished with large groups of people trying to make a difference. And that does matter. So thank you for what you do. It's great to have a chance to celebrate your work, and I look forward to working with you as we continue to make this a very special place to live. And one more thing before I forget. What I'm doing right now and continuing to focus on is making it more affordable for us all to continue to live here, making it more affordable for us all to continue to run businesses here. As part of that, tonight, if you have nothing else to do, at 6 o'clock, I will be in Hyde Park at the town hall. I will be doing a tax relief town hall where I'll be talking about the things that I've done so far in terms of reducing the cost of living, reducing the cost of business. But I'm also having this town hall to hear from you about your ideas so that we can work together on this initiative. So from 6 to 7:30, I'll be at the Hyde Park Town Hall. I hope that you can make it. And with that said, I'd like for the award winners to come up so I can hand out these certificates. Thank you. Okay, so why don't we just stand here and I will give these to you. We have the Dutchess County Planning Federation. Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
Indeed.
Okay. We have the Dutchess Land Conservancy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And of course, we have the Winnicke Land Trust, and thank you very much as
Thank
well.
you, Jerry.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
very much.
Can we just get a quick picture with all 3 of us here together? Dave, you want to be in this with us? You sure? I didn't win an award. Well, but you're the guy. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you all again. Thank you all again.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Gibson. I shy away from the camera because it adds pounds. Anyway, I'd also like to thank you again for all your work on Lyme disease. As a sufferer of Lyme disease for 12 years now, and it's gone into neuropathy. It's hurt my nerves and everything. Doctors don't believe that, but it started in '93, or 11 years, I guess. But anyway, I am suffering. As you see, I can't stand or walk too far or stand too long. But we have one more presentation, and I'm sorry you had to save it to last. Steve Rosenberg from the Scenic Hudson. He'd like to say a couple of things about the Land Conservancy and the Land Trust.
Thank you, Dave. I'm glad just to say a few words of congratulations to our collaborators, the Winnicke Land Trust and the Dutchess Land Conservancy. I also just wanted to mention the power of the idea of what the Northern Dutchess Alliance is about. We work throughout the region. I don't think there's another organization in the entire region that functions like the Northern Dutchess Alliance to share good ideas, to promote integration between municipal government and creative thinking about how to grow together, and that's very, very impressive. When I think about the Northern Dutchess Alliance, I think about 2 main values, and they've both been mentioned already. One is the power of collaboration, and the other is the power of place, and how place really underlines the economic vitality and the quality of life of the place that we live. There's no place in the region like Northern Dutchess that really represents that. And the two organizations, the Dutchess Land Conservancy and the Winnicke Land Trust, completely embody those values. And Scenic Hudson has had the privilege to be able to work closely with both organizations for many years and have seen great results in protecting farmland, to provide fresh local food to our communities, and to create special places that people here can enjoy. So we want to extend our congratulations to both organizations and also recognize Northern Dutchess Alliance for the great work you do. Thanks.
Thank you, Steve, and that's right back at you, okay? I can remember in the early 70s when farmers thought Scenic Hudson was their enemy. And we started a group called IDEA. And we got all the people sitting down at the table, information and dialogue exchange about agriculture. And through that, many of our people and representatives in Albany copied that idea, and we had a good committee, good meetings, and now you're one of our best friends. See how things change. And speaking of change, I came here in December, or actually November of 1972, to take the agricultural extension job at Cornell Cooperative Extension. I came down from Herkimer County, where they had 600 farms. Down here they had 275. Now we got many more than that. They're smaller, but we've got many farms. Buy local has really improved agriculture. And as I said, we're #1 for tourism. And Northern Dutchess Alliance, as is mentioned, is working on some tours here in Northern Dutchess, and I got 2 farm markets to add to that list. So we're getting there. And it's been my privilege to be the president of the Northern Dutchess Alliance. I've termed out, so the committee will meet and decide the new group of officers afterwards or some other meeting. Okay, and I want to thank you all. Did I forget anything? Okay, I want to thank you all for attending on this woolly morning. I've already been told I was crazy, and after I got in the car and came up Bull's Head Road, I knew I was crazy, but I made it. I made it. Even did one of my farm reports live from the corner here. So, anyway, there you go. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sharon, for starting that brilliant ovation. I appreciate that. Without anything more to take place, I guess we'll call it an adjournment. Thank you all for coming.